In 1961, the SS Dominator crashed into the bluffs of Palos Verdes. And there she still lies today. Well, some of her, anyway. So let's visit the wreck today on PCZ TV. PCZ TV. The Palos Verdes Peninsula juts out into the Pacific from the lower part of the Santa Monica Bay. The area is famous for being fogged in. And add to that, the navigation to the LA harbor from the north is tricky, so much so that there are 2 lighthouses within a 7-mile radius. Oh, for more information on the history of the Point Vicente Lighthouse, watch this video. So why 2 lighthouses in such close proximity? Well, ships coming from the north are unable to see the Point Fermin Lighthouse as it's blocked by Point Vicente. And there were about 10 shipwrecks in the area before Congress approved funding of the Point Vicente Lighthouse in 1916, and it was finally built around a decade later. Meanwhile, during World War II, the U.S. started a crash program in building cargo ships. Called Liberty ships, these standardized ships were created en masse. They were pretty simple, low-cost construction with a planned 5-year lifespan. Now, mass production of ships on an unprecedented scale. The first ship required around 230 days to build, but the median production time over time dropped to 39 days by 1943. All told, there were about 22 shipyards churning out these vessels.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that.
One such vessel was the Melville Jacoby, built during World War II at the Walsh Kaiser Company shipyards in Providence, Rhode Island, and launched in March 1944. Now, after the war in 1947, she was sold off into commercial service, and flying the Panamanian flag was renamed SS Victory. She was sold in 1950 and renamed SS North Queen, and then sold again in 1953, becoming the SS Dominator. On March 13, 1961, the Dominator was en route to Los Angeles from Vancouver with a cargo of wheat and beef when she ran aground off Palos Verdes. Now, for 2 days, the Coast Guard and tugboats attempted to refloat her, but heavy seas and high winds forced her higher and higher onto the rocks. And after 2 days, the crew abandoned ship. Now, the stranded ship was then auctioned, with the hull and cargo were sold separately, which led to some conflict between the salvors as they both attempted to gain whatever they could. No surprise, being so close to LA, you could imagine lots and lots of images, lots and lots of tourists and looky-loos. Now, eventually, the ship slowly broke up under the pounding of the waves, with large pieces of wreckage that were scattered over the shore and sunk just offshore. So you want to see a shipwreck, do you? Well, to visit the ship, start at Lunada Bay, and during low tide. Now, to reach the beach requires some mountaineering down the cliff. Well, okay, the path isn't too bad. And then crossing a rock-strewn beach around the point. Now, I wore my hiking boots, but the surfers obviously navigate it just fine without wearing combat boots. And speaking of surfers, you'll pass the surfer hangout. Don't worry, the surfers may have a reputation for localism, and see this video to talk about the localism, but you're not surfing. You're going wreck hunting, so you'll be fine. And then you're upon it. Large, rusty parts are strewn everywhere. Make sure your tetanus shots are up to date. Now, it's a fascinating thing to see up close. Another interesting thing is that it's also a dive destination. Now, I've never actually dove the wreck, but here are some drone and diving shots, courtesy of the Ocean Earth Green YouTube channel, which, to find out more about diving the wreck, you should take a peek over there. It looks pretty silty and surgy to me, but what do I know? Now, when you've finished visiting the wreck, head up to the Lunada Bay Plaza for lunch. Look, you'll have worked up an appetite, trust me, going up and down those cliffs. And the Lunada Bay Plaza has plenty of little cute restaurants, everything from pizza to a Japanese restaurant, sandwiches, salads, and of course Mexican food. Look, you can't go wrong with any of the restaurants there. I've eaten at all of them. And when you're done with lunch, head down to San Pedro to see an intact Liberty ship, the SS Lane Victory. It's currently a museum ship, and you can take a tour and see what the Dominator used to look like before it decided to crash into Palos Verdes. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. If you've been watching this far, I thank you. Bye!